Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And I'm talking today about people with short memories. And I'm talking in particular about Ace Magashule, the Secretary General of the ANC. Now, it was about a year ago that Ace Magashule was lecturing President Cyril Ramaphosa about the collective. You know, that inner team in the ANC all working together. Well, not so much anymore. Ace Magashule, since he is now facing arrest and charges for fraud and corruption, has basically gone AWOL. And he's clearly siding more and more with the economic freedom fighters, which I believe will be the faction of the ANC under the Magashule Zuma mob who will go and join up with Julius Malema. Well, good luck to them, because they're going nowhere. I've got a few videos attached here. And I'm going to show you first the video of what happened at Wits University just yesterday. And then after that, I'm going to show you videos of what's going on at the University of Cape Town. And you'll notice, apart from one little video clip where they're singing that infamous, pa, you've got a couple of feral white students involved. The rest, if you have a look at any of the other videos, you won't see a white person anywhere, which is interesting, seeing that the University of Cape Town used to be a largely white university because of its location in Cape Town. There weren't many black people in Cape Town. But let me add a bit of meat to the bone here, shall I? The students marched to Luthuli House to deliver a memorandum of demands. Now, remember, they're wanting to pay nothing for their university courses, okay? These are the guys who've got through their year 12 or their matric in South Africa, and now they are going into university. I just had on yesterday, in fact it was the night before last, I had on several ladies who work in charities helping single mothers with kids. And they're saying that these kids, young kids, 5, 6 years old, cannot afford to go to school because their parents are on SASSA, and if they sent their kids to school, they wouldn't have any money to live because the SASSA payments are so low. So children who don't even have a basic education, because they are white, are being excluded from getting free education in South Africa. And what you've got here is Ace Magashule to stir up his base. It's all about getting people behind you. And the youth are, of course, very closely tied up with the economic freedom fighters, that terrorist organization. And Ace Magashule recognizes that he needs to start making himself felt amongst the youth of South Africa, because his faction is tied up with the EFF.
Struggle, long live. Long live. Long live the student struggle, long live. Long live. Forward with radical economic transformation, forward. Forward with radical economic transformation, forward. Forward forward with socio-economic transformation forward. Amandla, Matla, Aluta. Let me remind you as students, your struggle is our struggle. Before you are students, you are part of those communities which have nothing.
Yes.
You come from the poor background. You come from the working class. And that's why the ANC resolved long time ago, 1955, last rag, in our election manifesto in 1994, in our election manifesto in 2019. That's why you voted some of our parties. But as students, I must tell you one thing. When we are students, you are students, you must all work together irrespective of political parties because your demands are the same. When you are a leader of students in the SRC, you must remember you represent the entire student body. You don't represent your own organization there. And that's how you will actually win this battle. The African National Congress National Working Committee met yesterday because of this crisis. And we discussed and we interacted with the president of the ANC, the president of the country. This morning, the subcommittee of the ANC National Executive Committee met at 8 o'clock. And we have engaged government. I'm sure if the Minister of Higher Education has not spoken, we have directed government to find money and resources for your demands because your demands are genuine demands as students. We sympathize and we want to pass our condolences to the man and the family of the person who was killed yesterday. Because President says we can't have a public policy which is still anarchic, which is still operating like apartheid. We must make sure and we will respect our policemen and women, and they must understand that in South Africa we have fought. There are rights. You have a right to march. You have a right to come up with your demands. You have a right to associate with anybody. You have a right of speech. And these rights are enshrined. When people say we must respect the Constitution, they forget about it. Long live the student struggle. Long live. For a student, you must unite. There is no EFF, there is no ANC, there is no SANCO, there is no student command. You are students. And all political parties have expressed shock in terms of the killings yesterday. Aluta continua. Never be demoralized. Never be demoralized. The struggle continues.
So, let's get back to this. The students marched to Luthuli House to deliver a memorandum of demands. They also demonstrated outside the Johannesburg Central Police Station earlier. African National Congress Secretary General, who should have been kicked out because he's facing arrest charges, but he refuses to go because he's above the law. Ace Magashule has told protesting Wits University students that government would ensure that their demands for a free education were met. Get that? What about these poor white children who are 5 or 6 years old who have been rejected from getting an education because they cannot afford to pay? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I had a brain fart. Okay, I forgot. It's all about this. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, guys, let's continue. The students marched to Luthuli House to deliver a memorandum of demands. They also demonstrated outside the Johannesburg Central Police Station earlier. The party has sent its condolences to the family of 35-year-old Mtokosisi Mtumba, who was killed on Wednesday when police fired rubber bullets at protesting students. Magashule has called for students to unite against one cause despite their political affiliations. And you'll notice here that he talks about the ANC and the EFF have to start working together. You're getting my drift, aren't you? Yeah. And of course, on the other side of the coin, with the ANC, the Democratic Alliance are ready to climb into bed with the Ramaphosa faction of the ANC. Well, you know where your traitors are, don't you guys? It's self-evident. DA, EFF, ANC, they're one and the same, despite the party being fractured. Let's continue. Magashule said, and one fights only at Wits. Solidarity through the country because your struggle is the same. He said that the ANC met yesterday together with the president to discuss the financial crisis facing students. He went on to say, and we discussed and we interacted with the president of the ANC, the president of the country. This morning, the subcommittee of the ANC National Executive Committee met at 8 a.m. and we have engaged government. Students also delivered a memorandum at the Constitutional Court, demanding, amongst others, that no one should be financially excluded in 2021 and that therefore there must be no fee increments. All right, let's work on that. It's a rainbow nation. The memorandum states, no one, regardless of color, should be financially excluded in 2021. Well, go figure. These poor, white, single mothers cannot afford to send their children to school to get an education. And I'm talking about primary school education. Incredible. The hypocrisy is just, it's extraordinary. And of course, this is all politics. Ace Magashule is starting to move towards the economic freedom fighters. That's where he'll be taking his ANC faction to undermine Ramaphosa, because he's facing, Ace Magashule, this is very personal, Ace Magashule is facing fraud and corruption charges and could be imprisoned. So this is his kind of response to Ramaphosa. In other words, middle finger. Alright guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. And before I go, I'm going to play you some videos that were taken in Cape Town in the last day or two, where the same thing is breaking out with no fee university education is being pushed by, you'll notice them in the crowd, the red jackets, the economic freedom fighters, now supported by the Secretary General of the ANC. Nothing is easy in politics, is it? Try and get your head around that one. Please take care. Bye for now.